I'm thrilled to be sharing some real-life relationship tales from the Reddit community with you today. As someone who's been there too, I'm excited to dive into these stories and learn from the experiences of others. How do I 28 female deal with my best friend's fiancé 39 male comments about my pregnancy without losing the friendship? I've 28 female had a heart condition called congenital aortic stenosis since I was 10 and had to undergo open heart surgery 3 years ago to replace the valve. The surgery wasn't easy, and my doctor told me I should wait 1-2 years before trying to get pregnant, so my heart had enough time to fully recover. My husband and I waited even longer just to be safe. Her fiancé know all about this as they've been together even before my surgery. My best friend and I have known each other for over 9 years, and she's like a sister to me. A week ago, my husband and I told them that we're expecting, and they seemed genuinely happy for us and invited us to dinner to celebrate 2 days ago. During the dinner, her fiancé kept asking questions like, "Why'd you want to get pregnant so badly?" I answered with something about how my mom's love made me feel secure, and I wanted to give that same love to my child. He just laughed at my response and said, "But how do you know your kid will love you back? What if you're pregnant with one of those kids from documentaries who end up hurting their parents?" He kept pushing, asking why I'd take the risk when my husband already loves me. My husband and I tried to explain that it isn't the same, but he kept going, saying things like, "What if your kid ends up not loving you or something?" My best friend tried to get him to stop, but he just wouldn't. I got the feeling that he thinks I went through the surgery and everything just because I wanted to have a child, and somehow has a problem with that. After we left, she texted me 2 times to make sure I wasn't mad at her, and called me later to tell me that her fiancé didn't mean anything, and he was just trying to be funny, and that he probably wouldn't apologize. My husband thinks we should distance ourselves from her fiancé, and he even suggested doing the same with my best friend, at least for a while. I love her and don't want to lose her over this, but I'm also upset and confused by her fiancé's behavior. Edit. For those who don't know, narrowing of the aortic valve, which makes it harder for blood to flow from the heart to the rest of the body. I spent most of my teenage years dealing with symptoms like chest pain, fatigue, dizziness, milworm. Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Try to maintain some contact with this friend so that if she ever realizes her fiancé is a giant asshole, she'll have a friend who will listen. But don't set yourself on fire to keep her warm. Since she seems aware of how inappropriate he was, she will understand if you choose to limit yourself to just us girls' outings and events. Let's do X. Just the 2 of us. This way you make your point, avoid the asshat, and maintain a lifeline for her that she might need later. If the asshat then gets mad and tries to keep her from seeing you, you'll really get the message he's abusive, and can position yourself to always be there as a lifeline. I'm always here if you need me. Piggybacking to say my best friend just married an absolute jackass that me and my husband hate to be around. I've remained friends with her, but it has definitely strained our friendship, and unfortunately she's starting to act as obnoxious as he is. I hope this doesn't happen to you. Congratulations on the baby. Set her on fire to keep her warm. And now for the next story. How do I 26 female get through to my husband, 26 male, about unfair workload when it insults him to talk about it? Married for 3 years, no children, no house. Currently, I pay 100% our costs. Not what I originally agreed to, but fell into after he quit his job months ago. I've been asking him to start applying to jobs to keep the apartment clean, but he does like 20%, then tells me I shouldn't ask for more. Like submitting 1 application every few days, or only doing a few dishes over 3 days. Since he quit, I've been paying 100%, but before it was like 60-40 because I recognize that he doesn't make as much as me. I had him working PT, so he can start a trade or school, but he wouldn't even Google prospect. I'm starting to feel like supporting him isn't going anywhere. I picked up a second FD job, cause financial turmoil, having no money to save, or for emergency. Recently, his parents bailed us out $500 over a surprise expense, and he's held it over my head as I helped you. What do you mean you need help when it's from his parents? Not to mention I feel humiliated whenever he panhandles to them. I'm burning out. I'm so tired of the life I've been living seemingly getting worse. I ask for more, like literally anything. I even had a position held at my new job for him, and he wouldn't even submit an app for that, a freebie. He gets angry and insulted no matter how I approach this conversation. I can't get him to commit to marriage counseling, 'cause he'll say, yeah, then not do it. I'm so exhausted, and I feel guilty every time I feel like I'm about to stick up for myself and turn things around. I don't know what to do anymore, or if I'm being unfair to begin with and not seeing it. Today I told him I have no fallback to count on, and now he responds with, oh, thought you have no one to count on when I talk to him. Like, how can I get anywhere when saying I'm struggling will be an insult to him? I can't afford to stop either, 'cause I like having food, a roof, and a phone to write this on. And I did consider he was depressed, but I can't do more what I've been doing. I still take him on dates and trips, and buy him gifts for occasions, buy him meals and drinks. He originally quit his job 'cause he was stressed, and I told him to take a mental health break, and all that did was make things worse. Nowadays he blames me for stressing him out and making him quit, because, leading up to that, I was begging for more support 'cause we were in a financial red zone, and I had only one job at the time. I'm completely lost. What do you think? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. I mean, if he's unwilling to do extra chores, work, or go to counseling, then I think you have your answer. Break up with him, find a less expensive place to live or a better roommate, and move on. Here's the response from OP. Thank you for the advice. Just be glad you didn't have kids with this Ashat. You'd be the breadwinner, housekeeper, and only childcare provider. There's nothing to save here. He'll never be a real partner. And the fact he couldn't be arsed to do anything, not even DoorDash to help a little so you didn't have to get a second job, tells me all I need to know about what a manipulative leech this guy is. He's never going to get it together. The sooner you leave, the better. Literally. There's nothing to save here. My dad was like this growing up. It sucked the soul out of my mom and eventually broke her spirit. You deserve better. If I raised a son that was like this, I would be so embarrassed. Why are people raising man children? Asking myself the same thing. They hole up in the basement playing video games and think they're somehow owed something. And now for the next story. I, 25 male, tried to get intimate with my girlfriend, 26 female last night, and it made me feel disgusted and depressed. How do I approach this conversation? My girlfriend, 26 female, and I, 25 male, have been together close to 2 years. We have had an amazing relationship thus far, and I definitely see a future with her. The only issue that I have been struggling with it internally is in regard to our sex life. To preface, we have never been crazy, sexual active, as opposed to other couples that I read about here. Ever since we started dating, we typically only have sex once, maybe twice a month, which honestly is fine with me. I have initiated every time, except for one instance. I know this sounds weird. Most of the time when we have had sex in the past, it has been very spontaneous. Typically, we would wake up at some ungodly hour in the early morning and be all over each other, almost as if we were both sexually in sync with each other, and it would be so passionate. When we have sex, I make sure to pay lots of attention to foreplay, and her really making sure she is enjoying it. She has told me that she doesn't have a high sex drive, which most likely contributed to her chronic stress that she deals with day to day. I do everything I can to alleviate her stress by taking on the majority of the household chores, grocery shopping, doing the laundry, and making sure she has a nice, fresh, warm meal to come home to after work. Unfortunately, we have been having quite a dry spell in the bedroom, though. Funny enough, I remember the last time, prior to last night, that we got intimate was the last day of September. Since then, she has started a new job and has been working a lot of hours. Because of this, I have not bothered trying to initiate, as I know she prioritizes her sleep at night, for instance. But it had been weighing on me occasionally that we hadn't had sex in a while, but I didn't know how to approach the conversation. Anyway, one of her gifts that she got me for Christmas were cute couples coupon tickets for things like get off of doing the dishes, the meal of your choice, spontaneous date night, etc. She also included a few for sexy time, which I was ecstatic about. I thought, great, now I can finally work towards have a more regular sex life using this gift. So last night I tried to cash in with one of the sexy time coupons with her before bed. She smiled and joked that they are only one-time use, so to use them wisely. She then got under the covers, turned away from me, and I guess, waited for me to do my thing. I started by kissing her back, the back of her neck, and started to caress her ass. She's always like that in the past. But I noticed that she wasn't moaning or vocalizing, indicating her excitement, again, like she has done in the past. She was just silent. I started fingering her, telling her I want her, and asking her to tell me what makes her feel good. But apart from a little moaning, nothing came out of her. I just got the feeling that she wasn't into it at all, and after a while, she got sore, and we stopped. She didn't touch me at all, other than kissing me. Honestly, I felt disgusted in myself right after, like I had coaxed her into getting intimate when she wasn't in the mood. I even still feel, depressed, like she doesn't want me. I had trouble falling asleep after that, and it's really been weighing on me since. Emotionally, I've been all over the place. I know that she doesn't value sex, maybe as much as I do, but I really want a more consistent sex life with her. I want her to be lusting for me from time to time, but you can't just make someone want that. I don't know. It's just that the whole thing made me feel unwanted and undesired by the person I love the most in this world. I'm worried as thoughts like maybe she doesn't find me attractive roam free in my head. At the end of the day, I don't think sex is the most important thing in a relationship, but I do believe that it has a role to play when it comes to solidifying love, passion, and so forth. I plan to have a discussion with her tonight about this, and what transpired last night. Firstly, apologizing to her if I pressured her into sex, and then telling her how I have been feeling about the whole thing lately. I just don't know what to say exactly. I'm worried about saying the wrong thing, or that it will somehow ruin a part of our relationship sex life, or that I am somehow making it a bigger deal than it is. We honestly have never had an in-depth conversation about this, only surface level, and I have never truly expressed to her that I want a more consistent sex life with her, which I know I should have. I guess I would just really appreciate some thoughts from others, and maybe even some words of advice. Thank you for reading. I really appreciate it. Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Look, frankly, I think sex is a very big part of relationships. I don't mean that the more you have it, the better the relationship, but what I mean is that there needs to be a clear sexual compatibility. Otherwise, both partners end up suffering. On one hand, there is the partner with less libido, who feels obligated to have sex, who feels guilty for not being able to do so, and then, who probably will end up lashing out to cover for that guilt. This partner will more and more associate intimacy with a chore and will grow distant even more. On the other hand, is the wanting partner, who will more and more feel frustrated, and more importantly, unwanted and rejected, made to feel like it's always in the wrong for wanting sex. They will end up associating sex with the pain of rejection, which makes the whole experience miserable, even when it happens. Sexual compatibility is a big deal, and unfortunately very few can figure it out. Why? Because this incompatibility triggers feelings of guilt and shame in both partners, one for having too much desire, who becomes portrayed as predatory, as monstrous, another for not having enough desire, which results in feeling inadequate to give a very basic thing, in a word, broken. And what happens when shame is triggered? People lash out, hurt, blame all, so they don't feel the shame. So first start by not accessing that place of shame, and openly discuss your feelings, considering that no one is in the wrong. Up has had this issue W's partner for over 8 months. She does nothing in terms of household chores, ragdolls the few times they actually are intimate, and shows him almost no affection in their daily lives. He deleted his old posts, but his comment history is still there. Dude just needs to rip off the band-aid and break up already. The cope really kills me has just saying he's fine while a teardrop rolls down his eye. Unsurprisingly enough, all the comments have been deleted. That's so sad. I don't know why people stay in relationships or even get into relationships with frigid lovers. Like and subscribe for more awesome daily Reddit content. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos.